So I'll ask the question. You receive a call right now that there's a data breach in your organization, one of your clients. What would be your next steps? And I hope you will finish the panel discussion, then you go.
Thanks a lot. I think if that were to happen, we are lucky that we've got the Kenya data protection laws in place that sort of give us a guideline on what we should do. So I think getting to know that there's a breach, the next thing would be to make sure that we can inform the various stakeholders. In this case, if it is a breach relating to specific customers, then we have to make sure that this information is available to them. The question will be, what's the extent of that breach and what harm does it pose to the organizations of those customers? So there has to be a clear definition of the impact of that breach, so that specific measures are then taken to prevent it from extending further into the organizations or from spreading to other organizations that they will probably be digitally connected to or with. But ultimately, making sure that there is a way that we can prevent a recurrence of that kind of breach is also important. So doing a post-mortem to find out how exactly did this breach occur. Was it due to us? Was it due to human error? Was it due to something that could have probably been prevented? So making that sort of an assessment and ultimately making sure that we work with the right partners to prevent a reoccurrence, and also make sure that there is a way to future-proof the business from any kind of harms or any kind of cost that they could actually get into. That will be the most critical thing.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Riaz, let's say we are an organization where we've sorted the culture headache, and we've also trained our people. So the skill set is sorted. How do we measure that cloud adoption is now successful? What are the metrics we will use to measure success?
I think, again, it goes back to what Dan started the whole session with, the why. Why are we actually getting into this in the first place? We need to be able to define that, right? Are we looking for more uptime? Are we looking for more reliability? Are we looking to be a data-driven culture? And I think those are now the parameters that will tell us whether the cloud strategy is successful or not, right? So we need to be able to pick out certain things, because there's a challenge. I mean, yes, cloud is the future and that's where all of us are going, but there's a reason why we're going there. And I think if we understand those reasons from our individual organization perspectives, then we'll be able to know why. Everyone has very good successful migrations to Office 365, right? Or cloud email, and the whole objective is less spam, more uptime, less IT calls. So I think that's kind of how you would measure the strategy. Now, a bigger way to measure the strategy would be, because there are currently organizations in Kenya that are moving the entire organization onto the cloud, insurance companies, banks. And I think for them, it's a bit more critical to look at it holistically. What is their data strategy? What is the customer experience strategy? So all those things now coming together, and cloud is a tool now to enable that. I think getting into the future, we're now looking at are we ready for that future? Are we ready for AI? Are we ready for more advanced kind of current technology trends that are coming into the market?
Well said. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you, Patrick, and he has mentioned about the future. So as we look at cloud adoption, what are some of the emerging trends we are seeing in the industry? Which cloud technologies are we talking about that we're going to tell our enterprises to stay up to date with?
Thanks for that. I think I'll just pick up on what Riaz said. I think the current trend, I know the big one is linked to artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning. I think where we sit, we're in a unique position, especially in Kenya, that we do have a resource to be able to contribute, especially on the machine learning side. A lot of the companies that are here are actually being using human resources here to build some of those platforms for AI and machine learning. So as ICT leaders here, I think we need to stay close to that, because I think that's where there's a massive opportunity, because of the level, I think, of our education in this country, level of our language skills is very good, especially on the English side. So I think there's a massive opportunity there, and as long as we plug in early enough, we will be able to contribute and identify business opportunities for growth on that side.
So the cloud technologies that we have are ready for this AI takeover.
I believe we have the real human resource to feed into that, and of course the whole exercise of machine learning and AI is very labor intensive. So if you have the right skill set and the technology to support it, then we've got a good space. I think overall, even you guys will agree with me, in our sector we pretty much have a very connected, in the region. Yeah. Kenya is very well connected in terms of infrastructure, capacity, and so on. So let's leverage on that to feed into some of these global trends. I think for us, that is a massive opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much. David, I'll throw for you a question that I picked up when Michael was speaking. He kept repeating the word that serverless computing is for the bold. It worries me. Do we need to be bold to adopt technologies?
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think with the innovation and as we want to remain to be innovative organization, then of course we need some level of courage, because there's something extra that the early adopters get that the others that lag behind miss out. So I think there is need to constructively risk towards new technology. And as Michael was suggesting, you can face that. You can do it in phases. And actually, I think almost everyone has suggested that you don't need to go, jump both legs in, right? Just like we've mentioned that most of organizations started with emails. You can move from microservices and go to serverless in phases. Like you can look at which is your least critical application, where you can see, the effectiveness of the serverless technology, and maybe other technology as well. So I think in this era and age, we have to be bold, but we need to be wise even as we are taking those bold steps.
Yes, I agree. So we are bold. We will take the challenge. I have enough time for 10 questions for my eminent panelists. Okay, so one question? One hot question that is burning? Anyone? Let's have a question for my eminent panelists. These guys can answer any question. Please proceed. He has to come to the mic? Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. My name is Ken, and in my short career, I've worked for service providers, ICT service providers, and in this cloud adoption journey, I've asked myself one question: is cloud for everybody? That's the question I want to pose to you guys. Is cloud for everybody? Because as we try to push and understand the value from as IT, within the IT fraternity, for businesses, is cloud for every business?
Good question. You want to take?
Thanks a lot. I will say no. Where do I come from with that answer or response? As we make an assessment, as every organization makes an assessment of why they need to get into the cloud or why they need to make use of any technology, let's appreciate that ultimately your own priorities as an organization should prevail so that you can make the final decision whether the technological solution being presented or being proposed to you is ideal or not. A case in point is this. While in some instances we say that migrating to the cloud is cheaper, it doesn't mean it's cheaper for all organizations. It could actually be a lot costly for some organizations. And that is how comes there is a phrase in the market that we've come up with where we now talk of something cloud chaos, which is organizations moving to the cloud, but then the next minute they're actually then getting out of the cloud. So, and it's for the same reasons. It could be cost-driven. It could be something that you are thinking around security and control. That guess what, I'm going to work with a trusted partner, so I'm certain that my security requirements and compliance requirements are going to be met by me moving, by the organization migrating to the cloud. Then what happens? You actually end up not complying or maybe having a breach that then gets to affect you. An organization like Rackspace actually had a security breach in December of last year. And that's a big organization that's offering cloud services to in the market or globally. So what then happens? We have organizations or we have customers of theirs who actually had to rethink of their plans of moving to the cloud. So my answer or response to that is no, it's not a one-size-fits-all for all organizations. Ultimately, we still have to make an assessment. Do we have the budget, considering other priorities that we have in the organization? Are we going to be in compliance to the regulatory requirements? Are we going to make sure that we are really enhancing our agility or speed of work in the organization? Because guess what, at times you move to technology thinking that's going to speed up things, but you probably didn't handle a cultural issue that creates bureaucracy in the organization, or people then working in silos. Everyone now saying, don't even talk to me, please drop me the mail. So those sorts of things. So at the end of the day, is it really helping the business? No. And trust you me, I think the board or the key decision makers could ultimately then ask themselves, really, was this the right decision? Maybe yes, maybe not. So that would be my response, but I think I allow yes. My other
Yes, you want to join in?
Yeah, I was going to differ a bit, but I think Dan makes valid points. Where I had a bit of difference is when we, the thing is, cloud is a very vast definition. So, a private cloud is cloud, or is it not? So, if we're talking about cloud technology, I think the technology itself has come a long way, and the key driving factor is more reliability, more security to some extent, more ease of use, automation. So if you look at cloud technologies as a term, I do think, yes, like there is a lot of value in everyone moving to that, because would you rather have, a cluster of 2 servers than 1 server? And the other hand also is, again, in Dan's business, would you rather have, everything sitting in a nice secure data center, tier 3 certified, or in your office where you have to massage the UPSs and air conditioners and everything that comes with it, right? So there is a certain ease of use, there's a certain huge amount of headache that goes away. Again, yes, cost is a factor, but I do think that with the right research, you can get to terms that, things do make sense, right? Again, sometimes when you're evaluating things, there's always different ways to evaluate things so that they work in a particular decision's favor. Right?
Well said.
But my general feeling is cloud technology as a whole has huge pluses, and I do think that that's the future in terms of where the world is heading.
Well said, Riaz. My English teacher would say, just because you have a hammer does not mean everything is a nail. So we need to use the cloud selectively where the need be. There being no other business, give a hand to my eminent panelists. Thank you so much for your participation. I think we'll now leave the stage and allow the program to continue. Thank you so much, guys.